of this video is to prove pack predation. I've got my Bibites here. They are currently at 111 strong. They seem to be rising in population. I have reset their spawner to 100, but they will be tagged as species. This is a fallback. It is also a slightly modified version of this guy's brain. That being said, these guys are stable and highly populated right now. And this one's going to get a hunt. We don't have any kind of pack predation for that one, but just watch these guys follow each other for a while. Now, one of the recent changes that I've made, and I'm not sure it's in this one's brain, oh no, it's definitely in this one's brain, is that if they see too many friendlies, they're going to go for a plant. It helps disperse them a little bit because they will try to take up too much of the same space as each other, and that is a problem when it comes to their survival. It's easy to get these guys to congregate. It's harder to get them to separate. But let's see if I can find that code. I need rotate because it comes out of rotate. Color lock. Color lock is an ingredient in so many things. Central to these guys' function. Thank you again, Bibit Boy, for helping me with that. Friend counter, pheromone decider, hunt decider, friend slow down decider goes over here. Oh, I know that. So we have plant angle over here. Feeds into friend counter. Ah, yes, I understand what happened now. Here's the Bibit counter filter, and here's the Bibites. So, all of that to say, what I have is a count of Bibites goes into a latch, which turns off or on depending on how many Bibites it sees, and the count is currently tuned to 2. That will activate the friend counter, which is color locked. So if it sees friendlies, this is going to activate. If it doesn't, this will not activate. But it's also plant angle. So plant angle, number of Bibit lock count, and color lock feed directly into rotate, which means that if there's too many friends, it's going to go find a plant and eat it. I'm very proud of that. I'm going to go find some other progs that are grouped up. Here we go. That is plenty of progs. So Mama's going to go find this meat. She's going to send a signal to her babies to follow her. That's what the blue pheromone is. See how every single one of these suddenly wants to follow Mama? So there's too many of them, so they're going to go try to find something else to eat. They can't all eat the meat. And Mama's gotten overwhelmed, so she's going to spit that out, which gives another baby an opportunity to eat. This whale is going to get eaten. There's going to be a lot of babies that die, but if it doesn't get eaten... There we go. No! Alright. That was tragic, honestly. But here's Mama telling the babies that there's more meat over here. And, just generally laying more eggs. These guys, they should be fine. I personally think they should have killed the whale, but, what is the sim if not good at proving me wrong? Are you going to go for it? He's not going to go for it. I'm going to have to tune the hunting triggers a little bit better. I've been focused on crowd dispersal. Still, this is kind of cool to watch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 babies, 7, 8 babies, 9 babies. She's doing a good job. So there are a lot of distractions when it comes to the whales. If there's meat on the field, these guys probably aren't going to kill a whale, because they will. The fact that meat exists turns off the hunting behavior. See, was going to hunt, saw the meat, no more hunting. So these guys will very strongly tend to clean up their messes, just on account of that. Mama is being attacked right now, which is not great. Mama's still got a baby on her, but she is healing through it, so, you know, I guess she's alright. And it's going to be a bug with the trigger. What? Or maybe, are you mutated? Because you should be spitting right now. That's rotate. Is that a hit? Did they deactivate the nodes? No, they're just weak. But you see your mother, and you're not spitting, which is confusing to me. Where's the other? There's this. So color lock is perfect. Watch as I try to debug this in real time. Let's see, grab. Should be turning off. Plant to spit decider. You're not a plant, that's not the thing. Friend spit decider. This is the one that should be activating, and it's not getting a strong enough signal to kick it off. So where's that coming from? Color lock. Color lock is perfectly active. That should be sending a full signal. And spit trigger. Bibites closest. Oh, the default activation is too high. I have to lower the default activation from -95 to probably 90, just to be safe. Good to know. I'm going to pause this and go do that. For the sake of content, I'm going to record this as well. This is me in Einstein. I'm looking for the spit trigger for Bibites closeness. Now, I saw that it wasn't getting close enough to that 95 in order to trigger the friend spit decider, which means I need to lower this number from -95 to about 90. Now, this is a slight problem because I also have a safety trigger over here that is set to 90, and the safety trigger needs to be larger, or easier to trigger than spit trigger, and if 95 wasn't working, this needs to be lowered to -85. So that turns off want to attack, you know, feeds into aggregate decider with friend lock, and boom, want to attack gets turned off. Save it. For the sake of content, we're back to here, and I'm going to just show you how to do how to plug in what I just did. I'm going to go over here to the dynamic settings. Bibites templates, I'm going to take my 18 prog 0.6 start and delete that. I'm going to replace it with I have to refresh every single time because there were changes made. And I select it. I'd set the tags to, okay, we're going to do species tag. They will be born at adult and at 100 population, because we already have over 100 population. Now I am going to kill all of these ones that spawned recently, in fact. I want my new changes to take place so that progs properly don't kill each other. So I'm going to go through and kill a few more of them just to make sure that I get all of them, because it seems to me that when I kill a Bibite, it drops its eggs, and then those eggs hatch. I don't have proof of that here, but, you know, I bet I could get it. Show me what you got. You got an egg? No. None of them are born ready for eggs. Okay, so I just want to see if this will lay the eggs. Yeah, it laid the eggs. Okay, cool. Sacrificial Bibite. Look at their little babies. They're gonna be fine, okay? They're gonna get big and chonky, and mother will be avenged. Okay, so I want to watch these guys. I need a group of these guys. Even just being amongst, there we go, okay. This one's laying eggs, which means I will soon have a group of these guys. Again, the thing that I'm really looking for is them actually spitting each other out, because again, the problem that we were facing with the other one was baby wouldn't spit out mom because mom wasn't close enough. So we got 3 of these bad boys over here. He sees 2 of them. He doesn't want to have anything to do with that, so he leaves. Unfortunately, there's no plant in sight, so it's not going to trigger the plant-seeking behavior. I am going to watch this one, though. So we are pretty low on energy. And brothers aren't sharing, which is fine. I'm not expecting too much sharing at this point. I'm curious why they're not kicking off of each other. But I did dial it in really close. Okay. It's 1 down. I'm really just curious to see if this baby's going to survive. Okay. So we got a super high density of red pheromone, which triggers an avoid response in this guy, which is what we're seeing right here. He does not want to be in a super dense red zone. He wants to go towards it, but don't stay in it. Oh, you're going to get a little tiny snack, I bet. Oh, good for you. So yeah, when they see each other get close like that, they're going to spit and send each other flying, which is perfect because it helps disperse them. Everything I'm doing right now is in getting these guys to disperse. Again, they are hyper attracted to each other. They seem to be doing all right. So we're spawning in 100. It is causing damage on the untagged version, which is the original that existed. Look at all these little fellas. Now that's just impressive. Yeah, so this is the baby that couldn't find the food at first and nearly died from starvation. It's growing, it's having a great time, and it's sharing with others of its kind. And here we have another whale that is likely to die. I'm just going to make sure this guy is not being attacked right now. 61.8 health is not going down. This one's health is very much going down. And we can assume that the same thing that happened over here is going to happen to this whale. It's just going to turn into quite a few progs. I'm not going to watch it slowly drain. It will. I have faith in it. And if the progs can grab this one, that's a meal. They're trigger. Oh, okay. They're triggering. That one has a plant response, right? When it's attached to a plant and it sees a foe, so basically anything's not a prog, it's going to jump off that plant, which often results in the hunting of a whale, right? As you can see, this big old whale is taking damage, and this little guy is growing. So that's going to be a good time. There will be mini progs made out of that. See, we just lost a baby to the whale. This whale is kicking butt, actually. Mama here is still laying eggs, though, and as long as we have a mom, we've got aggressive little babies. I may try to implement some self-preservation behavior specifically into adults, because if I can just keep the old ones alive and use the babies as missiles, we'll be having a great time. They go into a spot. They eat all the meat. They actively hunt things around them. They share meals. I mean, perhaps it's not a sophisticated pack, but it is still very much a pack of hyenas. I should have written it down because this is the point where I typically forget what I was doing. But the point was, I want the older Bibit to sense red pheromone and just to disperse. I don't want it to try to match heading whatsoever. Now, what I need to find out is what maturity is. I think it's 4 that they're maxed out, and I don't think I need to go that high. But so pheromone sense 1. This is going to be my trigger, and crowd dispersal already has a lot of these things. So crowd dispersal is started by a 0 speed. turned on by speed. The faster it's going, the greater the dispersal. We have a feed from aggro decider. No, it's going to be color lock. So if crowd dispersal only works if it sees friendlies. And then also Bibit closeness. So that's going to increase the strength of this. The closer they are, the more they're going to try to disperse. I don't necessarily want all of that. I would rather have this turn off entirely as they get older. Is maturity already a thing? It is already a thing because I have a maturity lock on my maturity inverter growth cap. So as it gets older, it stops growing. And this is actually a really good thing to just plug into this thing right here. I'd need to plug a 0 into this to turn it off. At maturity 4, currently what I have is a 0.2 coming out of here. I need this to turn into a 0 at say at maturity 3. And in order to do that, I can do a latch. Where's my other one? I have another latch here that I'm going to reference. Now, I need a latch. Nope. And this is going to be a maturity trigger. Now I'm going to feed this into here and just see what happens. So that's going to turn this on at 4. And I don't need this to be on at 4. So this means it'll have to be 3 before it sends a 1 signal. Yep, 2.9 doesn't work for it. So if I set this to 3, I get a signal of 1. Now what I need is a signal of 0 after a certain point of maturity. So something needs to get inverted. And the easiest way I know to invert something starts at 2, and I feed a negative into this. There we go. And this is why I keep having bugs, because I send the wrong polarity down the chute. Okay, and this is going to be 1. All right, great. So I'm going to hook that maturity trigger up to, oh gosh, nope, up to match heading at just a 1, and that should send a 0 when I want it to send a 0, and I'm going to make sure that happens. So that's a 0. If I hit calculate, it's still a 0. And I need to trigger this some other way. So pheromone sense is going to need to be something like 0.2, which feeds a 2, and if it needs to be not 0, so if I do 0.5, this doesn't turn into a 0, or into a not 0. Oh my gosh. So if I set this to 1, that should work, and it will try to match, and it'll feed match heading into pH calculator. All right, great. I think that's all I needed to do. Save. Now the problem that I'm facing here is that I already have a whole ton of progs. So I'm going to continue to turn that off. I'm going to refresh. I'm going to turn on the right prog, and I'm going to give it random tags now because we have such a mix between untagged and progs. And the next thing I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to take one, and I'm going to take a couple of them and just place fully loaded adults around some of the already existing progs. And then just watch it. Are you attacking each other? Yes, you are, but you did spit. So one thing to remember is that when these guys see prey, it turns off the color lock system. Right? They don't see progs as friends anymore. So they will bite each other when they see these things. And I could find another way to turn off want to attack, but it's not what we came here to what I came here to look at. I wanted to see these guys avoid red pheromone, and quite frankly it does look like it's doing that. What is the actual maturity at this point? It is 2.73, which does not... oh, it does trigger. Alright, so the latch is 0, which feeds into match heading, which turns it 0. Yeah, these are... it's no longer attracted to little progs. It's still attracted to blue pheromone, but I'm okay with that. They are doing bad things to each other over there. Oh, wait. No. Interesting. It's got a big old cluster of progs. I suspect something might be broken. Wait. Okay, you are a brand new one. They get a little bit overloaded, I can see, when there's too many of them, and this is a really dense area. A lot going on, right? Still, not bad for... oh. That turned off the friend, and so it ate each other. They ate each other. Which is, you know, an evolutionary pressure to wipe these things out. If these things are around, the mortality rate's going to go up, even though they are made of food. The thing I just programmed works. That's at least a positive. But how do I fix... the other problem? Oh, that was convenient. I complain, but, you know, they're still actually doing a great job. Are you triggered? No, not yet. You will be. And now it's going to realize it's mom and spits her out. So, you know, put that on the list of bugs. The only thing I have a problem with that about, though, is that it's going to limit population. I'm really trying to increase the overall prog population. So, you know, things to think about. I feel like I'm missing something here. Ah, I didn't actually turn these on. I think that's enough for now. It's really cool to watch, though. Now the problem is that none of these are around other progs. That actually might be a good thing to watch, because I'm so focused on like what happens in their hyperdensity environments. So they're not actually interested in plants at all until this goes way down here. So they'll orbit around them, but they're not going to try to eat them yet. And I have an orbit in here because I want these guys to kind of stay near plants rather than just being repelled by them. Plants are food, they can eat them, and being repelled by them only sends them out into the void where that advantage doesn't exist. And the hungrier they get, the less likely they are to orbit, and they'll, you know, just get closer and closer progressively to plants until they eat one. There should be a spit trigger here when it gets full, so long as it slows down enough. Because I have a speed inverter, that when speed gets low, it'll connect into should connect into spit, actually. Here it is, stomach grab decider. If stomach is full, here. Basically what it says is if stomach is full and you're not moving, kick it off. You don't want it anymore. Get off the plant. If they're standing still on a plant, they become a target for the whales. Not intentionally, but definitely a target nonetheless. I was looking at the brain, so I didn't see where all these other guys came from. Just suddenly I know that there's more than one prog. This prog is not likely to die anytime soon. There's plenty of energy in this bad boy. But I do think they are old enough for the maturity lock to take effect. Maturity inverter, growth cap. No, there's the latch. Yep. Cool. And that should only affect heading, which means babies will follow the heading of the parent, but the adults will go off and hopefully do their own thing. They're still attracted to blue. I'll deal with that when I get to it. I don't necessarily want to turn off the blue because I want them to, have some priority towards me. No, this one's got the prey. There's going to be a family of progs here soon. This will be different too because it's not kind of in the plant zone. We should see some different behavior. How's the whale looking? The whale is slowly dying. I'm going to retag this one. My boy. I'm going to check on this whale. Whale is going down. Check on my boy. And we can see my boy down here by his lonesome. Still chewing on this whale. I have fixed a lot of issues with, well, it's a big whale, okay, to be fair. It's not mature or laying eggs, but it's still a pretty big whale. Alright, and he grabbed a piece of plant instead. So we should be seeing the fullness trigger where he kicks that out. I don't know why we're not. He might be traveling a little too fast. 0.05? That's inverted very well. The stomach grab decider is triggered hard. Increase this from -0.3. He might not be a strong enough signal. It was 0.6, but I wanted to tune that down a little bit because I don't necessarily want them kicking themselves off into space. What happens is if they're in a high density environment and they kick themselves off like that, they hurt themselves by smacking into stuff. And, it's not ideal. We are getting a pretty strong signal into egg production. It's fighting with growth for a little bit, and I realized that I could make that better, just focus on growth first before producing eggs ever. But I don't really want to get into the math of it right now. It's a long-term item, right? But we do have the start of a family, a beautiful little prog family. And growth is down to 2.5 energy. Eggs are going to start popping out like mad. And we are currently at a maturity of almost 4, 3.9. Which means this guy is ignoring red signal. And will likely go off and do its own thing. I mean, it looks like it. And then Mama says, hey, there's food over here. She's not saying there's food over here. I wonder if I've set that to a trigger over too. She's doing alright though. She ate that entire piece of meat by herself. Got another egg. Now Now, one thing to bear in mind, I do have an orbit trigger on friendlies, so she does kind of want to be around them. Now, so that meat's gone finally, so it's just 4 progs and a couple pieces of plant. Prog A, baby 1 is gonna go get it. I suspect this one will get hungry enough to go find this one. And again, they show it didn't see it. So this guy's on his own. Those two might survive. It's pretty wide open. But Mama's gonna go over here and reload a gas tank. She could bite this whale. Nope. She's got a successful hunt. There's no plants around here, so she's just gonna eat it and get big. This is my boy. Okay, so how many my boys are there? There are 3 my boys now. So they're all still alive. Very much so. And she's getting pretty much full. She cannot produce egg. She is at the capacity of her, no, I was wrong. I think I set a trigger for laying eggs when targets are seen too. We'll see how that works out. The point being is it's going to give her an opportunity to use more energy, even if that baby just go off and does go off and die. I'm actually going to watch baby now. So baby's got some life in it. Mama's got baby spotted. And Mama's got bigger view than baby, so Mama's going to see the whale. And Mama's going to say, hey baby, there's a whale over here. And baby's going to die by being fed to that whale. However, you know, it could have worked out the other way. The baby could have gotten the whale. That's pack predation, my dudes. I don't feel bad for saying it.